broke men will cheat and rich men will cheat. So
Yeah,
it doesn't
but isn't it like more guaranteed? Wouldn't you say one side, but one of them definitely gonna cheat?
Both of them definitely gonna cheat. But what I will say is she will be taken care of. Broke man can't guarantee he's gonna take care of her. So, and it's like, I'm not giving back this Ferrari, regardless of how much he cheats. It's not going back to the shop. You know, the lever is here.
This book caught me off guard. I actually enjoyed it, and I wasn't expecting to. But really, what really got me was the powerful message about marriage and loyalty. Errol, our main man, stood by his wife through everything. And I mean everything. The guy was rich, he had options, and yet his loyalty never wavered. His wife was seriously ill, so ill that she was practically disabled, but still he stayed. And then he found out his son wasn't even his, and still he stayed. And just when you think that that's as far as it goes, his wife kills a pregnant woman with a paperweight. So what does Errol do? Turn her in? Nope. The man grabs a shovel and hides the body. If loyalty had a hall of fame, Errol would have a statue. Say what you want about him, but how many of you can say your partner would go to those lengths for you? 100%. Be honest, most of you can't get a text back.
Yeah, insane. And not only did he hide the body, he also shelled out money to create alibis, to silence people, like to make the whole thing go away.
Yeah. Was the author showing us what true unshakable devotion looks like?
No.
Because to me, Errol is clearly the good guy. I mean, after paying for his son's wedding, the poor man gets assaulted in his own home by Frankie while orally pleasuring his woman. How much can one guy take? And look, I know people argue that he wasn't perfect, sure. He had a few affairs on the side, but let's be real. Does sleeping with a few side chicks really cancel out everything else he did? Does a couple of extra curricular activities make him a bad person? Or does Errol deserve some respect for holding down his own wife, his family, and a murder cover-up all at once? If we're tallying up deeds, do a few affairs really outweigh his commitment? So, Joseph, my question to you is, was the author trying to make us see Errol as the good guy?
Nah, of course
Definitely not. Not even a little bit.
No.
So why is it that he's the good guy?
Because people's view of love and relationships and loyalty is distorted.
Pause this video right now! Go and read The Last One at the Wedding by
Jason Rekulak. And when you've read it, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway, because we're going to tell you all about it. My name's Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Aisha Library. Yeah, no, people's view of love and trust and loyalty is distorted, you know. So people think, you know, women won't cheat, let's say, even though they will, but won't cheat, but they'll leave at the first opportunity. And they think that's loyalty, you know. Men will cheat, but they won't leave their wives. Remember when you read The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, and I said,
Yeah.
Andrew, that's crazy. How can you leave your wife
till
like,
death to us?
do you know what I mean? So shut the housemaid by all means. That's very normal man shit. Leaving your wife for the help, and then you've moved her into the bedroom.
Madness.
Totally madness. So people's view of loyalty is very distorted.
So was Errol the bad guy?
No, well, he was the bad guy of the story. No, but I don't think he was a bad guy. Yeah. You know who I thought a bad guy was? Frank. I thought Frank was a bad guy. Really? I'll explain why later. But
okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So two questions. One is, what do you think of the book? And second, what do you think of the title of the book?
The title made zero sense. Zero sense. I read a review and someone explained it. They explained it like how you explain what authors are trying to do.
They didn't really explain. What did they say roughly, if you remember?
They was basically like Abigail was the last one at the wedding because she wanted to give the flowers when she didn't get to, and she was there crying.
Yeah, so who cares?
I was like, why is it called the last one at the wedding though?
No, but who cares about that?
No one. Literally no one.
But what did you think of the book?
Pretty good. Okay. Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was
decent.
It was decent.
Okay,
I wasn't mad.
Did I enjoy it? Yes. Would I read it again? Maybe. Would I recommend it to somebody? Maybe.
See, I couldn't recommend it. I don't think it's good enough to recommend.
I think it was a fun
I wouldn't read it again. I think it had some aspects that were fun. And again, I'm not mad that I read it.
Yeah, me neither.
So yeah, how many do you have? Because I think I've got
8.
All right. You seem to always have more than me, but mine is bigger than yours.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
It's not about how much you got. It's about how you use it.
Motion of the ocean, mate. Come on.
Yeah, since you got more, you can start first.
All right.
Ladies first.
Dogs follow. What happened?
Well, I am a dog. Dog in the sheets.
What happened between Frank and his daughter? UPS driver Frank Szatowski is surprised to receive a call from his daughter Maggie in the middle of the night, the first time he's spoken to her in 3 years, and is greeted with the news that she's about to be married. Something went down between Frank and his daughter, something the author is teasing us with, and I expect we're going to have to get through the entire bloody book before we find out. So, you know, when
you're right.
When you read as much as we do, you start seeing the same patterns in the same... They're talking about it, but they won't say what it is. I'm like, well, they're not going to do that and just reveal it in the second chapter, are they?
It wasn't even that deep at the end of the day.
It wasn't that deep. I mean, I thought it was an interesting question. I thought it was an interesting predicament, for people to be in, you know, like, what would you do sort of thing. But I thought it was going to be, I don't know what I thought it was going to be, but I was just like, I was primed for something.
No, but she wasn't asking him what she asked him to do. Wasn't it a little
No, of course it wasn't a little thing.
It wasn't a little. No. Okay, the way she teed him up, it was easy. Because she basically said, oh, just tell the police that you don't know when I got here. Which, that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. Straight away, we get a sense of how damaged the relationship that Frankie has with his daughter. I mean, it's non-existent. In my humble opinion, you have royally fucked up as a father and a man if, one, your children do not speak to you, and two, your daughter is getting married and doesn't give a fuck about your opinion.
Yeah.
In all fairness, Maggie was a kind of tricky child, and Frankie did try his best. There was a part where Maggie... done a Amazon freebie trick that we've all done. Thank you, Mr. Bezos. You know, the one where we don't receive our package and either get our money back or a replacement. So when Frankie realizes that his daughter Maggie has done this, his self-righteous, law-abiding morality is outraged. It's fraud! You've committed fraud! He exclaims. Yeah, whatever, says Maggie. So Frankie forced her to donate the jacket as to charity as a punishment for her treachery. Did he handle the situation correctly?
You love asking me questions that don't have answers, innit? Like,
No, I'm asking your personal opinion. That's all I'm doing. I'm not telling you. A lot of times I'm asking you what's right, what's wrong, but I'm just simply asking you your opinion.
Did he handle?
Did he do something wrong? Did he handle the situation correctly?
No, I don't think he did something wrong. No, I don't think he did anything wrong.
So would you do that sort of thing?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, I would.
I would have called the police.
That's crazy.
That's a bit bad, isn't it?
Crazy. You just open the door and see the police step in,
guns and
slap
everything.
the cuffs on.
No, I think he did. I don't think he did the right thing.
What would you actually have done?
I think you should have. It depends what type of person you are as a parent. If you know, every now and again break the law. I don't know, give your kid a drink.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you do these things like most of us do, then I don't think you can come down on your child when they do something wrong. Frankie seemed to be a law-abiding citizen. If you are, then that's fair enough. But I think you've got to just say to your kid, listen, you got to be careful because the feds can come to your house for certain things. But to do all of that, it's like, come on, mate. You know.
Yeah, I'm a very straight arrow. You know, I don't break the law.
Yeah,
I don't put people in positions to break the law. But what do you do if your daughter is marrying a billionaire? Start writing your Christmas list, of course. Turn up with the milk that you went out for.
Hey! Who's home? Honey, I'm home.
Legit. Maggie's fiance is Aidan Gardner, son of infamous tech billionaire Errol Gardner, and he's rich. Stinking rich. When Frank visits them at their apartment, he's greeted by a name, his car is parked for him by a valet, and an elevator takes him to his daughter's new penthouse apartment. You would never be able to get me out of there. Ken Arthur couldn't pull me out of there. When he asks Maggie how much they are paying for rent, she replies, Aidan thinks rent is a waste of money, so he just bought the place. That's the level of finances we're talking about. So,
well, it's funny. I mean, rich people say otherwise.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, very, very rich people say otherwise. So Elon Musk, he doesn't own any. He doesn't own any houses. He doesn't even own his car. It's weird. He has his own car on finance or something for his own Tesla.
I heard this super rich person one time. Well, I assume he was super rich. He looked and spoke rich, and he had shoes with no socks on. And
that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
he's owed money, but he said debt is money, and he didn't bother explaining in a way that we could understand. But he was like, "Yeah, debt is money."
I've heard that. So, all right, I'm not going to explain that because I don't understand it. But what I will say is, people who are very, very rich, they like to rent because they like to be mobile. They might spend 3 months over here. They might spend 3 months in a different country, making a couple million or 100 million over there. So they don't always tie themselves down to things, and they don't even pay themselves a salary and stuff like that. You know? But yeah. Have you finished there?
Yeah.
I said, great news! Frankie's daughter Maggie has landed herself a filthy rich fiance, and they're set to marry in just a month. The problem, Frankie has never met the guy. Hell, he didn't even know she was dating anyone, much less engaged. If that were my daughter, my spidey senses would be tingling like a motherfucker. I'd be thinking, why does a rich man want you?
Legit.
Because let's be real, rich men don't usually pluck regular women out of obscurity for no reason. So what's the catch? So here's the real question. If your daughter suddenly announced she was marrying a stinking rich man, is that more likely to be a dream come true or a massive red flag? Is she being swept off her feet into a life of luxury, or is she walking straight into a nightmare? What would set off more alarm bells for you? Hey Dad, I know it's sudden, but I'm marrying Joe Bloggs. We're in love. Or, hey Dad, I know it's sudden, but I'm marrying Jeff Bezos. We're in love. Is that money more of an issue or less of an issue?
That's an
Why
interesting
and
question.
does that make sense?
It's a very interesting
Because I feel like immediately we're like, the money is more of an issue. But I don't think that makes sense.
It doesn't, but at the same time,
And is
it's
it?
like
Definitely
you said,
more of an
it's
issue.
like you said, like, why would a rich man want you? Because
But that's not for you to ask, is
It's
it?
not for me to ask, but people are going to ask it regardless.
Me to know and you to find out.
It's not just for me to know, not even for me to find out, just for me to know. But yeah, no.
What if he says, hey Dad, you know, she's got a good box. You wanted to know, set of walls.
That's, you know, as a man, like, I'm not gonna say
You
one
say
box
it's
is
good now.
What?
Give it 3
What-
years.
what I'm gonna say is not as a man, I'm not gonna say every box is the same, but it can't be that good.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It cannot be that good that you're, you know, I'm shackling myself to you now
and
forever.
the mouth.
You know, Cristiano Ronaldo's not married to his girl, you know.
Yeah.
He's boring children, and they're not married yet.
Yeah.
Now on Valentine's Day, he was like, "Yo, happy Valentine's Day, me and more." Comments full up. Why haven't you married her then yet? Sort of thing. So these super rich people, they don't want to shackle themselves to somebody unless they see a reason for it. And good box is not a reason if you're already getting it.
Of course. That was definitely a joke.
Yeah, no.
That was definitely a joke. But
Can never tell you.
so what you say to your daughter? You're gonna say,
No, I'm not going to do that because.
but your alarm bells is going off more.
Alarm bells definitely
if
going
he's
off, and I
rich.
think as a parent, I'm not a parent, but I'm assuming your alarm bells never go away. Worrying about children never goes away. This whole trying to protect them, that never ever goes away. So,
all right, let me ask you this: Would you say that it's unrealistic to believe that he will stay 100% faithful
yeah,
to your daughter?
yeah.
So would that be a concern to you to say to her, or would you have to keep that to yourself?
I'd keep it to myself because broke men will cheat and rich men will cheat. So
Yeah,
it doesn't
but isn't
actually,
it like more guaranteed? Wouldn't you say one side, broke men cheat, rich men cheat, but one of them definitely gonna cheat?
both of them definitely going to cheat? But what I will say is she will be taken care of. Broke man can't guarantee he's going to take care of her. So
I hear that.
on balance, I think it's probably less of a concern, you know. And it's like, I'm not giving back this Ferrari, regardless of how much he cheats. It's not going back to the shop. You know, the lever is here. It's horsepower is mine for life.
Once I bless this car, you ain't gonna
That's
want it back.
You're not gonna want it back.
Well, yeah, fair enough. You have to go twice actually.
So Aidan is a murderer. When Frank and his sister Tammy arrive in New Hampshire, they hear of a woman called Dawn who has gone missing, and Aidan seems to be the primary suspect. Perhaps she was having an affair with him. That is what it usually is with rich guys. Remember the crash, Trina McFadden, legit. What is she? She had an affair with some guy, or she had a one-night stand with him or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then she was carrying his
Where's
child.
the rich guy in that story again?
Yeah,
But I forgot.
He's carrying his child, and he tried to
Yeah, no, he did actually.
murderer. So with rich guys in these stories, it usually is they had an affair, somebody was pregnant, somebody did this, just classic drama.
Yeah.
So I assume that's what it was. I wasn't totally off the mark. Obviously, I was wrong in terms of the culprit, but with the culprit, it's never the first guy anyway.
Yeah, no, it couldn't have been. Yeah, that's true. Why didn't I read the book and think it can't be this guy? Because it literally.
That's
can't.
the first
But then
thing I
again,
thought.
you can't. I was thinking that. I don't know. They're just the Frankie's gonna uncover her body and.
I
this,
was
that,
like,
and the other
well,
one.
maybe they could double bluff. Maybe somebody could write a book where they double bluff, where the first guy is the guy, and then over the course of the book they make you think it isn't, and then it's revealed to really be him at the end. Because then it would be a big fuck you to the readers as well. Because you lot are
I
stupid.
think this was already a fuck you because you're stupid.
It definitely was.
Because I felt stupid.
I honestly
reading
think
this.
this could have been fixed though. This book could have been fixed.
Oh,
I think it was a very easy
could have.
fix.
It could have been amazing.
I think it
there's
was a
certain
easy
things. I've only got. Have I got 2 left? No, I've got 3 left.
I've got
3 left. So
5. Let me go again. I've got 5 left.
go on then. Go again.
All right. I'm saying it now. Aidan is innocent. 2 women, both people he was involved in, have turned up dead, or at least we assume Dawn is dead. However, authors very rarely like to implicate the real villains, especially so early on. This reads like a bait and switch, which will reveal another as the big bad. Perhaps this is a journey upon which Frank will discover that his innocent little girl is not so innocent after all. So
He's fucking
she
right.
definitely was.
You were right
I wasn't
about
wrong about that either. But the reason why I put that is because a classic bait and switch these authors like to do is make you think it's a man when really it's a woman, because we don't perceive women as threats.
Yeah.
You know, so someone knocks on your door late at night, it's a man with a beard, and he's like, "Oh, my car's broke down. Can I use your phone?"
Yeah.
Straight away, slamming the door.
I ain't got a phone. Sorry.
If it's a
I ain't got a house. Sorry.
So I left my cooker on.
No matter what it is,
I'm telling you, you're not crossing this line. But if it's a 5'4" thick Latina girl, oh my, come in
some
stay
state
forever.
in some state of undress.
You can stay forever. Do you know what I mean?
And then the big 6'5" is behind
saying.
her.
I've got
round the corner.
That's what I'm saying. I've got one ay Dios mío before I'm giving it all up. Take my house.
The pacing of this book is spot on. Just when we got settled into this dinner is basically a meet and greet for Frankie, who has never met his daughter's fiance. While in the bathroom, Frankie finds a suspicious plastic bag in the toilet tank. A great way for the author to pique our interest and add mystery. I also do like the way Frankie accidentally stumbled onto the plastic bag too. It was quite realistic for his character. You know, the dad that just wants to fix things for cheap. He saw that the toilet tank wasn't working. He thought, I'll just open this up, pop in there, do them a little favour, and then finds it.
20-minute job tops. I know said that. 20-minute job.
Yeah. The only issue I had was that Frankie didn't open it. He didn't take the package or something. He put it back. I think most people, especially fathers, would open it up probably thinking it was drugs or whatnot. I think it would have been good for the plot too if Frankie did open it and find a USB stick that was encrypted or something. It could have, it would have, us readers would have thought it was something dark, you know, Aidan had something dark on there. One other thing I initially wanted to commend the author on was the fact that I thought that the introduction of the little girl Abby was genius. This is what we call raw creativity, creation out of nothing. The author is obviously resourceful and it fits in nicely too. So Frankie's sister Tammy was a foster carer that couldn't get cover for Abby, and then we had to bring Abby along. But it wasn't before long and I started to feel like Abby was taking over the story.
Yeah.
Because the author was struggling to move the story along. I wrote, okay, this Abigail is starting to overstay her welcome. It was and is a good idea to help with the pacing, but the book is dragging quite a bit. Yes, the family are stinking rich. Yes, the son is a bit of a C-word. He's never warm or happy to see Frankie, and he never wants to be involved. We get it. What's next, please? Because this little Abigail is starting to become a main character, and that wasn't the deal. So we had a long, boring section of the book. You know, it was the wedding / party things where most of it, Frankie just complained about the fact that he hasn't been able to spend time with his daughter or get to know Aidan. And yeah, it just felt like endless scenes of Frankie and Abby going back and forth over mundane things such as the killing of spiders or Abby dropping food on the floor. And it was like, where are we going here? Where's the fucking plot? So I don't know why the author decided to keep that in there. We needed something to happen. And nothing happened for a good chunk of the book. So that was my biggest issue.
One thing that can definitely fix these situations with pacing is having multiple points of view. So that's one thing that this book is probably missing, because if you're following one character, no one's life is exciting all the time.
I think they should have just brought some things forward. So Frankie going to meet the parents of the missing girl, and he could have directed him to do something else, and then we could have revealed some other things instead of just the wedding stuff going on.
Yeah, I suppose.
But
Maggie is having an affair with Errol. This author is just giving us shock after shock, and I'm not sure if I'm a fan. As it turns out, it was Catherine, Aidan's mother, that killed Dawn accidentally, if you can call grabbing a weapon, hitting somebody in anger accidentally. But because Dawn was having an affair with Errol and not Aidan. Shock. Then we find out that Maggie is having an affair with Errol, and her entire marriage is a business deal that gets her money in exchange for providing Aidan with an alibi for Dawn's murder. Shock again. What we know for sure is that Errol is the only one getting any bitches around here, and that instantly makes him the best character. But yeah, I think it was shock after shock after shock after shock, and even after the wedding, there was like 4 more shocks lined up for the end of the book. I don't know if you remember, and it was too much. It was going on too long.
Yeah, I mean the book
was like, when you nut, she keeps sucking. I was like, it's too much, man. It's too much.
Stop it!
Do you know what I mean?
You're
It's too much.
Overstimulated. Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm starting to lose my patience with this book. Where is the creativity? Frankie meets a woman at the wedding ceremony who says to him, "Your daughter's in grave danger. I will reveal all the secrets to you tomorrow morning." And of course, the woman who was going to spill all the secrets turns up dead in the morning. It's just schoolboy stuff at this point.
Yeah.
Have some fucking respect for yourself. Which self-respecting author puts the most played out foreshadowing move in history in their book? He might as well have added in, "It's behind you too."
Yeah.
What the hell is going on, Jason Rekulak? I've given you my money. How about you give me a fucking plot?
Oh, dear.
So anyway, after what felt like hours, the author finally decided on a direction. Frankie decided to track down the missing girl that was linked to Maggie's future husband. The parents of the missing girl provide a photo of Aidan and the missing girl together. Turns out the photo is fake. It's photoshopped. We never get to the bottom of that photoshopped photo, do we? Who photoshopped it, and why did they photoshop Aidan instead of who it actually was?
That's not the only thing we didn't get to the bottom of.
Do you have any idea? It wasn't explained, was it?
No, I don't know. But it's not the only thing that went unanswered. Even though what I'm about to say.
One thing I did like was the scene where the beans are spilled by the mother. The mother was quite the character. The author did a good job with her. It felt like I was in the room with her. I could tell how fucked she was. She just vomited mid-conversation. She had her gown fully open, exposing her naked body. And also her confession that she wanted to bop the pregnant girl on the head for being so ignorant. She was like, "The girl got knocked up by my husband and then came to try and blackmail me for 40 grand a year? Do you know how much? Do you know how rich we are? 40 grand?
Yeah, it's really...
I just donated $1.6 million to the local museum last week and she's trying to blackmail me for peanuts?" And I thought that was funny. But I want to make it clear, he definitely should not have gone this route. You know, with the mother just confessing the whole story.
Yeah.
It's lazy writing. To have somebody just blurt out all the secrets, it shows a lack of creativity and it's a boring idea. But the way he did execute it was good because I enjoyed the scene. And also the reveal. It's not the son, it's the father. It was a clever idea. I really enjoyed that. So credit where it's due. And that was just one of the twists. Because we got this twist quite early and there was still like 2 hours left of the book, so I was thinking, you know, there's still to come. So yeah, the twist I thought was quite good.
Yeah, they were decent. I think, you know,
they worked. They worked. I don't know if they might not have made sense. Some of them might not have made sense, but yeah.
Aidan kills himself.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. At the wedding, while 300 people are waiting to hear he and Maggie take their vows, Frank finds Aidan hiding in a basement with a handgun. He almost convinces Aidan to see reason, but at the worst possible time, Errol finds them. At one look at his daddy, Aidan shoots himself in the head and the wedding is off. Why was Aidan so distraught to that level?
The only thing that makes a little bit of sense is that his girlfriend guilt.
But that's what I said. His girlfriend was murdered, we think.
Yeah.
And he had to lie to the police. And there was always a chance he could be faced with the choice of telling on his mother or going to prison himself. But I don't think that's cause for him to want to take Blue aside. Catherine was an old sick woman anyway. Even if she did go to prison, it'd probably be a holiday camp. Money like Errol's doesn't buy anything less than a holiday camp.
Exactly.
You know, so I really didn't think there was any... He should have just told on her. Why did he even lie to the police if it was that big of a deal? They'd probably just be like, you know what, leave her. Like, we move her, she might die, you know?
Yeah, no, see, I didn't understand that the reason why the whole wedding was going on was so that, what's her name, Maggie can get paid to tell it.
To give Aidan an alibi.
Yeah,
but it's like, he didn't even do it, so he would go to prison.
Yeah, he didn't need an alibi. That didn't make any sense, but that's what was basically my next point.
But not only that, before you go on, sorry, the fact that it was a controlled marriage, a controlled divorce, and she was going to get literally half of his assets. You know how much money that is for an alibi for a guy that didn't even do it. They should have made him have done it.
Oh, of course. I'm going to skip over some of this. But bloody hell, Errol can't keep his hands off any pretty young thing, can he? Errol, who's Aidan's dad, is the one that's slamming Frankie's daughter's back doors in. Yeah. What? So it's really Maggie and Errol, not Maggie and Aidan. So let me get this straight. Errol's making his son Aidan marry his girlfriend on the side. Why? Why? Why did there need to be a wedding?
Can they just pay her?
Just pay her. No, literally, just pay her. Or was this just, let's make a jaw-dropping, mind-bending twist so the readers will never see in a bajillion years? So that's the reason why they needed a wedding or whatnot.
This seems like the author thought of this switch while he'd already started writing
It's
the
hard
book.
to
Like,
tell.
halfway
It's hard
through
to
the
tell,
book, he
yeah.
was like, "What if?"
Yeah.
And then it's like, "Well, we can't get rid of this whole wedding. We've already started. We're like, 50,000 words in or whatever it is."
But yeah, having said that, I was entertained, and then the ending was tied in quite nicely with us getting to find out what was in the plastic bag in the toilet that we'd forgotten about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so I immediately thought that was drugs, as I said, and it was just like, the wolf was just like, of course you thought this was drugs, you fool. And of course you thought Aidan was some form of rich bad guy as well, because you're a fool. So yeah.
Laugh in the face of your
took me for
intellectual
twice.
inadequacy.
But yeah, the book wasn't terrible, and it had some potential. And yeah, it had some potential, but the author didn't seal the deal on this properly. But that's me done. I'm going to
I've got two more. Let me just do them real quickly. Aidan wasn't even Errol's son. As it turns out, Errol and Catherine's marriage is unfaithful on both sides. Standing over his son's corpse, Errol revealed that he had Aidan's DNA tested some years ago and found out that he was not the father. Unnecessary shock reveal, in my opinion. Really, it's gratuitous at this point. I think this author has a reveal kink.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Rick and Morty episode about the final reveal? And they just keep doing it over and over. I don't know if you remember that episode.
I never watched that one, actually.
So, who actually killed Gwendolyn? Did the book just forget about this? Was it ever explained? Am I just blind? Gwendolyn was a woman Aidan really loved and wanted to see, although she wouldn't put up with his arrangement. She wanted him to turn his back on the money, the deal, on everything, and come clean to the police. Come clean. Any woman that encourages you to tell the truth, get rid of her.
It was that Julio guy, whatever his name was. It
What, Hugo?
Yeah, it was a Hugo guy.
Well, it had to be. It had to have been.
Yeah.
Obviously, loose ends have to be tied up, so I'm assuming Errol had her killed. Maybe the bodyguard Hugo took care of it. It's never explicitly stated, not that I recall. But yeah, Hugo was on business the whole book.
Listen, even at the ending, when they said, "Where does the little girl live?" My man was going finish her.
They just saw this guy sending texts. He wasn't even doing it
I
personally.
got nervous for Abby for a second. I thought, wait, hold on, because Frankie went out of his way to
bring them the map.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that.
When they started talking about it, I was like, oh, so they're going to say to Frank, yeah, just keep an eye on that one, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then it was like, so how are we going to get this done? I said, get what done? Get what done?
Loose ends got to be tied up.
Oh,
they said, it'll just be a house fire or something,
I said, oh, no. It blew my mind.
Come on, not Abby. Not Abby.
Come on. We didn't even like her, but come on, man. She's an orphan. Like, come on. You're talking about murdering an orphan.
For what?
Jesus Christ. Legit, you could have just pay her too. Like, what the hell? What the hell?
Or just move the body.
She's not like she's even that, or it's not even like she's memorized the map in her head. Like she hasn't memorized like a whole. Yeah. She's never gonna find it, man. She's like 8.
No one's gonna believe you anyway.
That's what I'm saying, legit. But yeah, I thought that was criminal. But that's probably the one plot hole. Let's say like Gwendolyn obviously was murdered. We didn't find out. Nobody took responsibility for it. Take responsibility like it's a terrorist attack. But yeah, nobody really took responsibility for it. It's never explicitly stated how that came to be, and that's quite an important detail because if we consider Aidan a main character, that's the main character's love interest. Yeah. So that's quite an important detail. Yeah. I definitely didn't think Aidan needed to shoot himself. That was so silly.
Yeah, that was just like, what's going on?
Like, do you know how distraught you have to be to shoot yourself in the head, in the face, like in front of your parent? Like, it's crazy. Or parent.
Well, he thought it was his parent.
He thought it was his parent, but
unless they knew about it.
I don't know.
Was that you done?
Yeah, that's my last one.
Yeah, I mean, the book wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I would recommend it.
You'd recommend it?
I would recommend it to somebody.
I was bored for
I enjoyed
a good chunk of the book. But yeah, it was all right. It was all right. But yeah, you can end with a quote of the day.
Quote of the day. Before you marry somebody, you should first make them use a computer with slow internet to see who they really are.
So what does that mean? No, joking. That was a good one.
Drive
I like that.
Crazy.
No, I like that. No, I mean it's true. Not just that. Oh, slow. You know what? My internet's so slow. It does drive me crazy. It does. It really does.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is a good quote because you need to know how your significant other handles under pressure, of
course,
and under when things are annoying them.
When things are not going to plan, you need to know they're not going to throw in the toilet. And in fact, another great quote I heard that said, the reason you send women and children away in a crisis so that men can think of a solution peacefully in the quiet.
Well, yeah, guys, till next time.
Till next time.